do not move until you do these things. Don't do it. Hey, good day. What's going on, y'all? It's Building Stucky back with another episode, man, giving you some info on moving, info on life, a little bit of everything, you know what I'm saying? But mostly about what I do every day, and that's moving and fitness. Might throw a little bit of music in there too. But today, we want to discuss the 4 things that you must do before you move. I mean, like, you got to do these things before you move. If you don't do these things before you move, you're definitely going to have a more difficult time in your moving process. So today, that's pretty much what we're going to be discussing, man. And how you guys feeling out there? Hope you're feeling great. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. You know what I mean? If you want more tips on moving, if you want tips on fitness as it regards to moving, this is the channel for you to come to. All right. So I got my little notes right here. First thing we're going to talk about today is parking. All right. Reserving parking is a key. As a distant spot means we have to carry items further than necessary, and this can add significant time and expense. Plain and simple. If you reserve parking before we get there months ahead of time, make sure that when you do that, put some cones out there, put some chairs out there. You can put a couch out there. You could put a lawnmower out there. You could put a grill right there in the middle of that spot to make sure that people do not park right there before you move. Because when I pull up, the one thing that I hate the most, not hate, but dislike the most, is when I pull up and it's parking, it's cars parked right where I need to be parked, right where the person has reserved the move already. Now, you went and did your job. You reserved the move. And by the way, DC charges about $50, and I think Maryland, it might be free. If you did this, you went and reserved the move, you put up the signs, and people still park right there. The only step that I can suggest that you take when you move and you do that is put objects in the spot where you reserved your parking to make sure. And you want to put objects that, you know, people can't just easily move like that. You know, maybe something a little heavier, something that's going to take some time to move out of the way, to make it much more difficult for somebody else to take your parking space. Because, you know, once your parking space is taken, we have to pull up, we have to park in the middle. And I mean in the middle of the street. In most cases in DC, when you got to park in the middle of the street, it's tight. Nobody can get around you. Nobody can get past. People are mad. People are screaming at me. And, you know, they don't scream at you, but they will find me quickly to scream at me, to tell me to move out the way, and I don't have any other place to go. And I don't want to stop putting or offloading your stuff, as this would take more time to finish your move. So, man, you know, the most important thing, one of the most important things you want to do before you move is reserve that parking. Put those objects in that parking spot just to make sure that you got your parking solidified for the next day for your move. All right. Okay. So the second thing I want to talk about, man, is reserving your elevators and your loading docks. All right. Real quick, I got my notes right here. All right. Reserve any elevators or loading docks that might be used. You generally do this by contacting your property manager, your building. The weekend and month end dates are the most popular. Sometimes getting fully booked weeks, even months ahead of time. All right. Be sure to give us a heads up if you have limited elevator, dock, parking, etc. reservation window that could make things a lot more tight. You know what I mean? Once we start to move. Now, this information is, you know, is directly from my people that I work for. So, like, you know, it's nothing that deviates from what you need to do. Like, this is factual information, you know what I mean, that you can stand on. This makes your move so much easier as well. You know what I mean? Reserving your elevators and your loading docks means that we can come and we can start your move effortlessly, because we have a place to put your stuff and a place to unload your stuff and go back and forth without any problems. Oftentimes, when we don't have reserve elevators or loading docks, it makes your move take extremely long to start and finish. Why is this? This is because residents have to use the same elevator that we're using, and at the same time. Also, maintenance has to use the same elevator that we're using, and at the same time. But if this is reserved and it's already taken care of, everyone knows not to use it, the elevator is locked off, it cannot be accessed by any resident. Sometimes maintenance may need to use it, or other people dropping off deliveries. That variable comes and goes depending on where you're at and the times. But for the most part, man, if you do this, this gets a whole lot out of the way and makes your move easier for that day. You want to make sure you take care of that loading dock reservation, elevator reservation. Just get with your concierge. If you can't do it months before, most times if the concierge is there, and most times on the weekdays the concierge is there, and weekends they might not be available, but if you catch them, cool, go and get them, let them know that you're moving. In most cases they should know that you're moving and set all of that stuff up before, or they'll do it right then and there. Go get your concierge, get it set up, let's get your move in and out and done with. All right. What is the last thing that I want? Well, not last thing. The third thing that I wanted to discuss, because we got 4 things to go over. We fixed my little broken glasses right here. We got 4 things to go over, and that's packing and prep. All right. And this is going to be a little bit more extensive because, you know, it's a lot that comes with this, man. And I'm going to kind of like just sum it up. All right. All right. You want to box up as many items as possible. You want to make sure that all your loose items are put into, you know, boxes, and try not to make these boxes too heavy for even you to carry. All right. You want to make sure that if you have books or anything like that, any kind of books, you want to put them in smaller boxes. All of your other stuff, you want to put them into medium-sized boxes. You want to make sure that if you have dishes, if you have any glassware, anything like that can be easily broken, you want to make sure that you insulate this stuff with newspaper. Put newspaper in between, in and around all of your cups and your glasses, well, your glass cups and all of your expensive kitchenware that you have when you're packing this stuff. You want to make sure that the stuff is not moving around in the box. You shouldn't be able to hear your glass up against each other. Once you move the box, you shouldn't be able to. You should be able to, you should be stuffing that box with enough stuffing to make sure that your stuff does not move once it's picked up. Because if it moves when it's picked up, this means it has the potential to break. And what you don't want your stuff doing is breaking. So, you know what I mean? Specifically, box up as many items as possible. Hiring us, bookstore movers, all right, to make hundreds of trips back and forth with small, loose items is not a good use of our time, or more importantly, your money. This means if you got a bunch of loose stuff, it's going to take us a long time. It's going to take us a really, really long time if you got a bunch of loose stuff. Box up your toilet paper. Box up your paper towels. Box up your bathroom trash can. Man, box up your PlayStation controller. Man, box that stuff up. Box up your pillows if you need to. You know what I mean? Or put them in bags or something like that. Consolidate as much stuff as you can so that we can just pick it up and go. The worst thing that a mover would want to see is when they walk in the house and stuff is just loosely scattered like everywhere. And we have to take time to gather that stuff, put it in the bins, consolidate it, and then run it out. Not only that, I have to put that loose stuff into the truck, compact into the truck so that it's not moving around and flying around everywhere once I start moving the truck. This saves you time and money. Moving on. All right. It's also recommended to use similarly sized weighted boxes as much as possible. This makes stacking for hauling the truck and packing into the truck much easier and simpler and therefore faster and cheaper. All right. Remove and box up items from any dresser, desk, file cabinet, wardrobe, armoire. This just makes it more convenient for us to do our job. Makes the piece a lot lighter to carry. We don't want to feel your clothes and your loose items moving around inside of your dresser while we're trying to carry it, because like that just makes it a lot more difficult. All right. Disassemble large furniture items beforehand if possible. Large appliances such as washers, dryers, stoves should be disconnected. Large appliances such as washers, dryers, and stoves should be disconnected. Drain the stuff out. We don't like having to pick up a washer and it has water still dripping out of it, which means that we can slip. We can slip and fall at any time, and that can be the end of your move, because if somebody gets injured that seriously, we got a real problem, okay? All right. We strongly recommend that you disassemble IKEA and other particle board furniture. This is a major key. If you got particle board furniture, it can't be moved but maybe once or twice. Once you move particle board furniture more than 2 times, it begins to tear up. It is no longer as stable as it was when you bought it. The stuff is cracking and it's already breaking before the screws start to detach from the joints. This means I could pick up a piece of particle board furniture that's been moved more than 2 or 3 times, and it may possibly just fall apart, and that lands on us, not you. So if you got that kind of particle board furniture, take it apart before we get there. We don't want to put our hands on anything that has the ability to break really easily and be blamed for it, because we really like to move safely. All right. Dense items like books and paper should be packed in small boxes. A large box with books may risk tearing apart and be difficult to maneuver. This is another major key. You don't want to put a large box full of books in a truck and having us carry it. You don't want to do that. It's going to pretty much tear apart. The moment that we pick it up, because it's so big, the box is not going to hold the weight properly. Small boxes are best for books. Even if it's a lot of small boxes, we would rather have that than one big, excuse my language, big ass box with a whole bunch of books in it. It caves in starting with the bottom first, because the boxes are so heavy and the tape can't hold any books in a box that big. Okay? Please, man, please be mindful of these things, because it's really important for the safety of your movers, so that we get this done fast and efficiently as possible. All right. Make sure you have plenty of boxes and tape. You'll probably need twice as much as you realize. We offer durable plastic bins for rent with free drop off and pickup within the DC and Arlington area, minimum of 20 bins. We can also bring you cardboard boxes if you would like to pack it up for you. We can do this too. So in most cases, the best thing for you to do is have us do the pack for you. That means everything is done exactly to the T of bookstore standard, and this also makes your job fast and efficient and a lot cheaper. All right. Label your boxes. Also, label your boxes. Make sure that your boxes have you have an idea of where you want every box to go, so that when we get on the unload, we can pretty much just take your boxes to room for room for room for room. You know what I mean? And this makes your move cheaper and easier and more efficient. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. You know what I mean? You don't want your movers spending a whole 12 hours on your move if they don't have to, and you only have about 6 hours worth of furniture. Yeah, they're draining your pockets like that. Let me fix my glasses, man. I'm looking a little goofy right here. Yeah, you know, got to get some new glasses. I'm kind of attached to these, but you can see I got my tape and all that stuff on. All right, you know what I mean? So make sure you guys take care of that. Leave yourself enough time for packing. This usually takes far longer than you expect. We have many clients still packing when we arrive, and also it can really complicate the logistics of loading the items into the truck in an optimal manner. We recommend trying to have it all done the night before. Give yourself some time. All right. And I think that's pretty much self-explanatory, man. The more that you could possibly take care of when it comes to packing, the better. You know what I mean? The less that we have to step over and work through when it comes to packing, the better. The less that we have to do when we get there, if things are already packed, the better. It seems like this stuff is real simple and it should be common sense for most people to know for moves. But man, I'm telling you by experience, most people don't think about these things. And the information is right out there. And so, I know sometimes when people move, they might not read all the information that we provide on the website, or Bookstore Movers provides on the website. And since that's the case, you can watch this video and just get all the information there, man, plain and simple. If you don't get a chance to, gratefully you see this video, make sure you do this stuff before you move. It's an emergency. It's an emergency. You got to follow these tips before you move. Make your moving day easy and simple, man. Make it easy and simple. If at any time you realize you have many more boxes or items than you initially thought, it's good to let us know so we can judge if it makes sense to add another mover or send a larger truck. This is a common problem. Some people don't even count their boxes. Like, really, they don't count the boxes correctly. You may tell us you got 10 to 20 boxes, and if we get there and you got 50 or 60, don't you think that's going to change your estimate? Now, you got to be realistic about this. Let us know exactly what we're moving so that it goes exactly the way it needs to, and you stay within the budget that you set for yourself for this move. Other than that, you're kind of setting yourself up for a long day and exhausted movers that's been taking little bits and pieces to the truck instead of just taking boxes and pretty much smaller, more compact items at a time. More, put your stuff together and make sure that it's ready. Excuse me if I'm getting a little tongue-tied because I'm trying to make sure that I stay on point. But consolidate. That's the key, man. You got to consolidate your stuff. If you don't consolidate your stuff, you're going to find yourself with a long day. All right, moving on. All right, take especially expensive or valuable items yourself. This means if you got personal stuff, you got money laying out, you got expensive jewelry, you got a laptop, you got whatever it is that you think that is really freaking valuable, take that stuff with you. As a matter of fact, make sure it's not even around when the guys get there, because when we come, we running and gunning and we grabbing stuff and we moving. We grabbing and we moving. And a lot of times we might grab your purse, your backpack, something that you meant to keep with you. So it's a very important thing that all of your important stuff, you separate all of that stuff or put it in the car the night before this, so you make sure that it's nowhere near the move once you get started, man, because that can be a real problem. And if I pack up your wedding ring or your house keys or something by accident, or I pack up your wallet, if it's in a place where it looks like it's supposed to be packed or it's already in a box, I don't know what to tell you about that. Put your stuff up so it's not on the truck, straight up. Just put it up. That's just simple. You know what I mean? That's just simple. Put your stuff up. All right, we cannot move anything hazardous or explosive. Can't move no bombs. We can't move no guns. No guns. We can't move no guns. And we definitely can't move no chemicals. So if you got a propane tank on your grill, take it off. Take it off. Take it off. We're not moving your grill with propane on it. Straight up. If it's flammable or it can explode, it ain't coming on the truck. Don't even ask me. All right? And the last thing you want to do, man, is you want to keep your place clean. Keep your place clean, or clean up before we get there, because the worst thing is walking into a place and you got like dust like everywhere. You got animal hair like everywhere. Every time you pick up something, it's animal hair on your nose and your mustache and your beard and your, we just got it's just animal hair and stuff, but try to get that stuff up. Make sure that it's cleaned up before we get there. 'Cause a lot of the guys do have allergies and things like that, and that can be set off by the dust or animal hair in the air. Pretty much, man. You know what I mean? You want to make sure you're clean. You want to make sure you're prepared for us, and everything will go smoothly, man. This is pretty much it. I'm not going to keep you guys any longer than this. But prayerfully, you tuned in this far and made it to the end of the video. And I want you guys to really take take into account all the things that you can do before you move. But do not move until you do these things. Don't do it. This is Building Stucky. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm signing out.